Welcome to the first lesson of your ISU, Section 8.1, Savings Plans. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to design and present a savings plan to achieve a long-term goal for your money. You should also be able to solve problems using technology, specifically the TVM solver on the graphing calculator. When we talk about savings plans, we first have to understand what our financial goals are. Financial goals are just an understanding of how you want to manage your money. Why are you saving your money? How are you spending your money? So for example, one financial goal might be debt reduction. This has to do with when people loan you money. If you bought a car, if you have a house, chances are you have a loan or a mortgage. And when people lend you their money, they expect something in return. And that's the interest that you're going to pay on the loan. So you will not only pay back the amount you borrowed, you will also be paying back the interest that accumulates that. So paying off a debt quickly will help you reduce the amount of interest you have to pay. Another goal could be saving. There might be something you want to save for in the future. Let's look at some of the key terms. So you need to have an understanding of gross earnings versus net earnings. Gross earnings is just all the money that you bring in from your employment that doesn't have any deductions attached to it. But what you're actually bringing home is what's called net earnings. So net earnings, we just take our gross earnings and we subtract away all the deductions. Okay, so for example, the government's going to take tax off. The government's also going to take EI, which is an employment insurance, just in case you ever become unemployed. The government's also going to take off something called CPP, which is Canada Pension Plan. So when you turn 65, you're able to collect pension so you can stop working and retire at that time. Something else that some employers will take off are for benefits. So for example, you'll be paying a little bit of the money that you earned into a pool of money that can be spent for dentists or eyeglasses or other things that are needed throughout your life. It saves you from having to pay big lump sums all at once when you can just put a little bit away and your employer takes care of it. We also need to understand short versus long-term savings. So when we talk about short-term savings, we're only talking about maybe a year or two, could be even just a week or two in advance. So you have to think about why you're saving your money. If you're looking for a new car, we're probably talking about maybe in a year or two you'll be able to afford that car if you save properly. If we're talking about a house or retirement, now we're getting into some longer terms. Saving for a house may take 5 to 10 years. Saving for retirement, now we're talking about 40 years down the road. The last thing you need to think about is about how risky you want to be with your money. So when we talk about investment risk, we talk about whether or not you're able to lose the money that you put in. What I'd like you to do is just to go to YouTube and check out this video called Investing Money in Plain English. A simple video that just talks about how risky you want to be with your money. You can either just search Investing Money in Plain English or just take the link that I've provided there. Let's look at a typical example that deals with something that you may encounter in your life. So Dylan works after school and on weekends. He saves 10% of his net earnings in an account designed for long-term savings and investing. The account pays 3% per year, compounded monthly. This table here shows the amount of 4 of his paychecks. So a few things we need to notice. Number one, what's the pay period? So as we look at the dates, we find that he's getting paid every 2 weeks. We also look at his net earnings over here, and we should start to understand that he's not getting regular hours. Because he's not getting regular hours, this may interfere with the amount that he can save from each paycheck. What it says is he's saving 10% from every paycheck. So let's look at part A here. Calculate the amount Dylan has saved from each paycheck. So we'll make an extra chart here that looks at 10% of his net earnings. So it's nice when we're dealing with 10%, we can just move the decimal place once, and we see that we've got $21.30. On his next paycheck, he's going to save $24.43. Next one, $19.21, and finally $26.39. And so when we add up all the 10% of his check, we get an answer of $91.33. And so all we've done is we've calculated 10% of each of his paychecks and then added them all up. Let's look at Part B. Estimate the amount Dylan can save in 1 year. What we have to do is we have to start by realizing, again, that he's getting paid every 2 weeks. So let's look at how much he averages every 2 weeks. So I'm going to take the $91.33 that he's saved so far over 4 paychecks, and I'll divide that by 4. When I divide that by 4, I get that on average, he's saving $22.83 from every paycheck. What the question asks is, what can he save in 1 year? Well, let's figure out how many paychecks he's going to have. There's 52 weeks in a year, and we know that he gets paid every 2 weeks. So I'll just divide that by 2 and realize that he's going to get 26 paychecks throughout the year. I'll take the $22.83 that he's making per paycheck and multiply by the 26 paychecks that he's going to get. And in the end, I'll find that he should save about $593.65 for 1 year. Now, let's look at Part C. Use the TVM solver to estimate the amount in Dylan's account after 1 year. Well, we know that Dylan has saved $593.65 from his paychecks. So some might think that that's the answer that he'll have in 1 year. But what we have to realize is that he's actually investing it into an account that pays 3% per year. Well, the nice part is that with today's technology, we have something called the TVM solver that's available on the graphing calculator. The graphing calculator can just be downloaded from the Wesleyan website. If you go to the Math Department webpage and then scroll to the bottom, you'll see there's a virtual TI-83 calculator. And you can get the password from your teacher. You download that and you get something that looks like this. Okay? When we talk about the savings plans and using the TVM solver, what we have to do is we have to understand what each part of the TVM solver means. So for example, the TVM solver we can find by going through the Apps button. Let me turn the calculator on. Go to Apps, and then we'll go to the Finance section of the Apps, TVM solver. And you can see there's all sorts of information that you need to fill in. I've listed the information here for you. Okay, so N is the number of payments per year, or number of payments total per year. I is the interest for the year. PV is called present value, or that's the amount that they're starting within their account. PMT is the number of, or the payment amount that's made into the account. And FV is future value, how much money will there be at the end. PY is the number of payments made per year. And CY is the number of times that interest is added per year. Okay, and that's usually found when you hear the words compounded. Okay. So let's look at Dylan's information. So for Dylan, the number of payments he's going to make in 1 year is 26. The interest that he's saving with is 3%. Present value, well, right now we're just going to say that he has $0 in his account. We're trying to figure out how much he can save. And our payments, we know that he can save about $22.83 from each paycheck. Future value, this is what we're finding out. We're not sure of that. That's what we want to know. He's going to have 26 payments per year, and it's going to be compounded. Well, let's check the question here, and it says that the account pays 3% per year, compounded monthly. So right away we know that there's 12 months in the year, and so we know the compounds, there's going to be 12 for the year. So let's put this into the graphing calculator and see what happens here. So we know there's 26 total payments. Let's back it up there. Here we go. Let's try this again here. 26 total payments. It's 3% for the year. Present value, he doesn't have anything in there just yet, but we're going to add $22.83 each time. 26 payments, 12 compounds for the year. Right. Now, in order to figure out exactly what we're looking for, with the TVM solver, it's something special. So we're looking for the future value, but you actually have to push the alpha and then enter button. And that's called solve on here. So we'll actually get a value, $602.21. So let's scroll down and write that in. TVM solver, after 1 year, we'll end up with $602. And what was it, 83 cents? We'll call it up here, 21 cents. Right. Next question says, suppose Dylan saved a fixed amount of $50 instead of a percentage of his paycheck. Some people might not want to look at just saving 10%. They might actually want to put a fixed amount away, what they can afford. So how much would be in his account after 1 year? So let's go back to the TI-83. So we need to change the payments that he's making into $50 instead of the $22. And we'll solve for this one again. And we get $1,318.91. So in his account, whoops. $1,318, and I think it was 91 cents. I'll check that quickly. Okay, we're good. And then the next question asks about how much interest he's actually going to earn. Well, to figure out the interest, what we have to do is just figure out how much he actually put in. Once we figure that out, we know that anything that's extra is the interest that was added on. So he put in $50 each time, and he did that 26 times. And when we multiply 50 by 26, we get the number 1,300. So from his paychecks, he's put in $1,300 if he decides to save $50 each paycheck. We can subtract these two amounts, and we end up with the number $18.91. And so that extra $18.91 must be from interest. And that's section 8.1 on savings plans. Hopefully you enjoyed the lesson, and good luck with your ISU.